now to Chris Cabrera, the Border Patrol Union Vice President. Well, Chris, you wanted to see this day that at least the Vice President would make good on her role as sort of overseeing what's happening at the border, to go to the border. She is. What do you think thus far?
Well, I think it's pretty much bittersweet. She's coming down to look at the border. However, she's not coming to an area where that's been extremely hit hard with the border crisis, where people are really suffering down here. So it seems like she's still kind of dodging the real issue.
What is she missing there in the El Paso area that she would get, let's say, if she was in McAllen or some of these other places?
I think she's missing hundreds, if not thousands, that are coming through daily. People that are suffering, people that have been harmed along the way, people with that believe that if they get here, they're going to get to stay. And it contradicts what she was saying in Guatemala a few weeks back, and she's missing out on exactly what's going on. She's missing out on reality.
Yeah, so I'm curious too. Do you think she's there because Donald Trump will be at the border next week?
It's hard to say. My thought is yes. I mean, nobody was lifting a finger to come down here as far as the administration is concerned until the former president announced he was coming down, and all of a sudden, look at what we have here. We got people coming down. So.
You're aware of these numbers, and they're just off the charts. And when you talk about your colleagues, men and women who have to deal with this, I haven't noticed a lot of concern about what you guys are dealing with. Reaching out to those who are trying to get to this country. I get that. But the fact of the matter is, you're the ones who have to deal with it. You're the ones who are overwhelmed. You're the ones who turned into babysitters in some cases, trying to protect kids who are being flung over walls. That is not coming across here.
Yeah, and oddly enough, there is a problem down here. What she fails to realize, and I think what the administration fails to realize, is what happens down here ultimately affects the rest of the country, because people that are crossing down here don't necessarily stay down here. And the drugs that come through down here don't stay down here. They go further north into the country. And that's where it's hitting the most, yet nobody wants to see that.
Meantime, all of those cases that are adjudicated now are adjudicated in the United States, no longer in Mexico. How is that going?
Well, if they get rid of Title 42, it's already gotten bad with scaling back the Remain in Mexico policy. So the numbers have significantly shot up, and the smuggling organizations are using the people coming over and turning themselves in as a cover, as a screen, so that they can bring other people and drugs into the country. And once they finish off and then lift the rest of these restrictions, we're going to be in some real trouble down here.
All right, hang in there, Chris. Chris Cabrera, following all this more closely than anyone else. If you think about it, he's right in the lion's den, the Border Patrol Union Vice President.